Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So today is a very exciting video. I finally was able to get 2 new releases from the House of Kilian. They're new additions to their liquors line or liquors collection. This is L'Heure Verte, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it, and Apple Brandy on the Rocks. Now, when I found out that they were releasing these 2 fragrances, I knew that I just had to try them because their last year's release, Angel Share, was such an amazing fragrance. I blind bought it and I loved it. And up to this day, this is still one of my favorites. So I had to try the 2 new releases. So they finally became available in Canada, and like I said, I grabbed. So I'm gonna tell you how the 2 smell, how they perform, are they full bottle worthy, and if I'm going to keep either one of these. So let's start with the one that I received first and had a chance to test for a couple of days. That's L'Heure Verte. Again, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing, but I have no idea how to say it. So it comes in the same package as last year's releases from this line. Here's the beautiful bottle. Let me take it out. So this one came a couple of days ago, so I've had a few days to test this fragrance, and I will start by saying that it surprised me. It definitely surprised me because based on the notes, I really expected to hate it. I really thought this is not my kind of thing. I am definitely not going to like it at all. And it surprised me. So let's start by talking about the notes. And by the way, the perfumer that created this fragrance is Matthew Nardine. And the notes in here are absinthe, that's the top note. Then in the middle, we have licorice, violet leaf. And in the base, we have patchouli, woody notes, vetiver, and sandalwood. Now, the reason that I thought I was going to hate it is because there is licorice in here and there is absinthe, which is also a drink that smells like licorice. And I really don't like this type of smell. So I really didn't think I was going to like it, but I was very curious and I had to try it. So what does it smell like? Now, to me, the opening of this fragrance is quite sharp and quite strong and very medicinal. I am getting very strong licorice note. It is definitely here. It is undeniable. And I am not a huge fan. In addition to that, the opening to me smells very masculine, extremely masculine. In fact, when I first got it and sprayed it, my husband walked into a room and said, "Why are you spraying men's cologne?" To him, this totally smelled like men's cologne. And I agree. The opening is very strong, very sharp, very masculine. And I will be honest with you, I am not a huge fan of the opening. Now, when it starts drying down, which to me happens relatively quickly with this one, probably within maybe 30 minutes to an hour, it definitely starts to change. It becomes less medicinal, it becomes sweeter. And although licorice is still detectable, it is not as sharp and it is not as strong. And it also, for me, starts moving more towards being unisex scent versus very masculine in the opening. And I am definitely starting to like it a lot more than at the beginning. And in fact, the longer it sits on the skin, the more I like it because that note of licorice becomes softer and softer and softer. But it is always there. I think for many, even in the dry down, this will be quite masculine. Including me, it is a bit too masculine overall, but definitely less so in a dry down than in the opening. It always has that kind of earthy touch as well. So the fact that vetiver and patchouli are here and even woody notes, yes, I'm getting all of that. And I think it's those notes that give it that masculine touch. So the opening, I'm not a huge fan. The dry down is much, much nicer. And I also find that the dry down is a bit addictive. The longer it sits on my skin, the more I'm starting to enjoy it and the more I want to get whiffs of this scent. So that's basically what it smells like. Now, how does it perform? It is also kind of interesting in a performance department, because when I first sprayed it on my skin, I thought, wow, this is quite light. Even though the scent itself has that sharp quality in the opening, but it was very soft on my skin. It didn't project at all. Like I had to bring my hand to my nose to really smell it. So the interesting thing is that as it started drying down and developing on my skin, I actually found that the projection got better and better and better, and I started smelling it much more. Now, it never projected very far, but there was quite a bubble around me where I could smell this fragrance without having to bring my hand to the nose. So I found the projection actually got better with time versus how it was at the beginning. Longevity on this one also was not bad at all. It was probably in the area of 6 hours, perhaps even getting closer to 7 hours, which, you know, in my books is very, very decent longevity. So projection is mild, but it is there, especially in the dry down, and I really couldn't complain about the longevity. Now, my final thoughts on the scent, I'm going to share with you at the end. I'm going to tell you if I'm going to keep it or not, but let's move on to the second release. So the second fragrance that came out is Apple Brandy on the Rocks. Now, they already had Apple Brandy in their collection. Unfortunately, it's a fragrance that I have never had a chance to smell, so I cannot make any comparisons to that scent. But this one was definitely the fragrance that I was very excited about, and I kind of had a feeling that I was going to like. Although I will admit that I've seen some reviews on this fragrance and they're kind of up and down. They're not all glowing positive reviews, so I was definitely nervous about it. So it comes in exactly the same bottle, obviously. So let's spray this one as well so I can refresh it. This is the scent that I'm wearing today, so I do have dry down on my hand. And like I said, this fragrance arrived second, but I did have a full day's wear on it, so this is not a first impression either. So I was very, very excited about this scent. Now, this one is created by Sidonie Lancesser. And the notes in here are on the top, pineapple, cardamom, bergamot. In the middle, we have rum, vanilla, and moss. And in the base notes, there is ambroxan and cedar. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly how it smells on me, how my nose picks it up, which, you know, could be different from others. Now, when I first sprayed this scent, I am getting rum and I'm getting cedar. I am getting very strong boozy element and I am getting very strong woody element. And that's pretty much what I'm getting. So I've heard some reviews saying that, you know, the boozy element here is not very strong. For me, in the beginning, it is very, very strong. That's what I'm getting. And, you know, I really, really like it. I really love the opening. It is such a nice boozy, woody combination. Absolutely love it. The opening lasts on this one a little bit longer on me, probably an hour to an hour and a half. And then it starts changing a little bit. So after it's been on my skin for that hour or hour and a half is when fruity nuances are coming out and sweetness is coming out. So vanilla is coming to the forefront. Now, there is pineapple listed in here. I'm not sure if it's exactly pineapple that I'm getting. I'm not able to distinguish any individual fruits, but it definitely has fruity nuances. Yes, absolutely. And it is picking up more sweetness. So like I said, vanilla is coming out, and that boozy quality from the rum is starting to mellow down. Definitely. It is not as strong as in the opening. I kind of wish that it would stay for a little bit longer, or it would stay as strong as it is in the opening. Once the fruits are coming out and vanilla is coming out, booziness is going very much in the background, but cedar or that woody quality is always there. It never goes away. This scent is quite woody to me. So that's basically what I'm getting. Boozy, woody opening with sweeter, fruitier, and less boozy dry down. How is the performance? The opening of this fragrance is quite strong. It projects well, nowhere near beastly, but again, I have quite a bubble around me, so that first hour, hour and a half, projection is quite good. Now, it gets closer to the skin as the scent starts drying down. Definitely gets closer to the skin. And within the next maybe couple of hours, it becomes pretty much a skin scent. The longevity on this one is also not as great as in the first one. Here, we're probably talking about 4 hours, maybe between 4 and 5 maximum. But at the end of those 5 hours, it is quite light. So performance is definitely not the best. It could be improved greatly. But I will also mention Angel's Share from last year, because when I first got that fragrance, longevity on me was not great at all. It was around the same time, somewhere around 4 to 5 hours. But what I found with that fragrance is, has it aged a bit, in 2, 3, maybe 4 months, performance definitely improved. Longevity on me improved by a couple of hours for sure. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe this fragrance would be the same. Once it has a chance to sort of stand and mature and relax, it will perform better. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So what is my final verdict on these? So L'Heure Verte is a fragrance that surprised me, because like I said, I didn't hate it. It was much better than I expected, especially in the dry down. The dry down is quite lovely, but the opening is very, very masculine, and the note of licorice is there. There's no hiding from it. It is prominent throughout the whole life of this scent. And for that reason, it is not for me. It is not a scent that's going to stay in my collection. This one, I'm glad I got a chance to try it, but it is going to go. So what about Apple Brandy on the Rocks? So the performance is definitely lacking. I do wish that it performed better, but I have to say that I really, really like the scent. I really, really love it. Now, is it quite to the amazing level of Angel's Share? Perhaps not, but at the same time, it's a beautiful scent. To my nose, it's a beautiful scent. And, as soon as I got it, I had to open it right away. I had to spray it right away. And again, when my husband smelled it, he loved it on me, and he thought it was completely unisex, and I would have to agree. This scent is definitely unisex, will work for men and women for sure. Yes, the performance is not the best, but the scent is beautiful. I really enjoy that sort of strong, boozy, woody opening. And I equally enjoy the dry down, even though it is lighter, but I still enjoyed that fruity, sweet, slightly boozy kind of vibe. It is beautiful. Again, if I could make a comparison to Angel Share, because both are boozy scents, I would say Angel Share is perhaps more suitable for late fall, like, kind of November time. Whereas Apple Brandy on the Rocks, even though it is boozy and woody, but it definitely has kind of lighter, airier quality about it. And so I would say this is more suitable for early fall, like September, like we're in right now, or early October. So definitely Angel Share is heavier. This scent is lighter. So as you can tell, I was not really disappointed in Apple Brandy on the Rocks. I do enjoy the scent very much, and I am going to keep it. This is going to stay in my collection. The first one is going to go, but honestly, I am not surprised by that decision. I kind of expected it to go that way, and that's how it turned out. Apple Brandy on the Rocks is for me, and it is probably, honestly, going to be more mass appealing scent, I think. Now, L'Heure Verte is not a bad scent at all. It's a very interesting scent. It is much better than I expected it to be, but it is just not for me because I feel like it's too masculine and I just don't like the note of licorice. But I think for those that enjoy that note, this could be a really, really great fragrance. So there you go. These are my thoughts on the 2 new Kilian releases. Would love to know if you had a chance to try these or if you're interested in trying them at all, and what are your thoughts on them? Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you soon in the next video. Bye.